Hello everyone, Iamcasualty. Today we're going to be looking over the patch notes for Season 3 of Call of Duty. I won't go over all the aspects, but if you would like, there are going to be chapters for certain topics I touch on, so if you would like to skip through, feel free. The chapters will be on the timeline and in the description below. Other than that, let's move on. So first of all, they mentioned their anti-cheat, that they're adding new detections and increasing the tools to fight against cheaters and rank play. That's nice. New Blackcell Battle Pass. This is a premium offering of Battle Pass. Different rewards and stuff like that in there. Also, there's going to be a new starting position and more details in the Season 3 Battle Pass blog if you care to look at that. There is a new event called Trophy Hunt coming where players and enemy combatants will drop trophies when eliminated. Trophies can always be found via loot. Trophies must be collected and secured in an upload station to add them to your bank. In multiplayer, trophies drop from each unique player killed. Collect trophies and finish the match to add them to your bank. In the Battle Royale, operators and AI combatants drop trophies when eliminated. Trophies can also be found by looting, and trophies are extracted from the match via the following methods: secured at an upload station, or if you win your and have a victory. DMZ, operators and agents drop trophies when killed. Trophies can also be found in loot. Trophies must be collected and secured at an upload station or extracted to add them to your bank. Once extracted, these trophies can be exchanged for items shown in the events tab, including blueprints for weapons, vehicle skins, and battle pass token tier skips. Those who redeem enough items will unlock some exclusive operator skins for their efforts. For progression for Season 3, they have unlocked the ability to go up to Prestige 13, which unlocks at level 650. So for weapon challenges from the Season 2 Battle Pass, those weapons can now be earned by completing a weapon challenge associated with them. For the ISO Hemlock, you have to get 20 long shot kills with assault rifles. For the KV Broadside Shotgun, you have to get 10 one-shot kills with shotguns. And for the dual Kodachis, you have to get 20 kills with melee weapons. New Camo and Mastery challenges for the Crown Squall and the FJX Imperium were added, and a new set of Prestige Sticker Books challenges were added. 4 new weapons coming. We have the FJX Imperium Sniper Rifle. This is the intervention from the original Modern Warfare 2. Something I am very familiar with. The Cronin Squall Battle Rifle. This is a bullpup semi-automatic rifle chambered in 6.8 Wraith and is designed for distance shooting and exceptional damage output. Weapon balancing. Season 3's changes add more responsiveness to movement and fluidity of combat, including reduction of the intensity of damage feedback. For example, the camera shake and the HUD overlay. We've also decreased the magnitude on some of the more putative attachment cons. We feel this will result in expansion of the attachment viability that will enable a broader spectrum of playstyles to sell, including a change to explosive ammo, which allows bolt-action sniper rifles to down players in one shot. As we head into Season 3 Reloaded, we will be keeping a close eye on weapons, equipment, and kill streaks, among other mechanics to ensure fair, fun, and strategically rich gameplay. They wanted to note that updates listed below have certain impacts listed for armor are only present in Warzone 2 and are indicated with Warzone 2 only. In the context of below changes with armor, when a minimum damage armor value is added to the weapon or attachment, it is an increase to effectiveness, and when a maximum armor damage value is added, it is to decrease the effectiveness of that weapon. Just keep that in mind moving forward. So for assault rifles, we have the ISO Hemlock, the M13B, and the STB 556 and the TAC 56 getting changes. For the ISO Hemlock, we have all damage ranges reduced and lower torso damage reduced. So it's getting nerfed. For the M13B, we have headshot damage slightly reduced, lower torso damage increased, a mid-range damage distance increased, and upper torso damage slightly reduced. For the STB 556, headshot damage is increased, leg damage is increased, lower torso damage is increased, mid-range damage distance increased, and mid-range damage reduced. For the TAC 56, the only change that is going through here is headshot damage being increased, so rewarding you more for accuracy. For the battle rifles, they have the FTAC Recon, movement speed is increased, semi-auto leg damage is increased, semi-auto minimum armor damage is increased, semi-auto upper torso damage is increased. The Lockman 762, you got a movement speed increase. For the SO14, you got a movement speed increase, and the semi-auto minimum armor damage is increased. The TAC V, minimum armor damage is increased, movement speed is increased, and semi-auto lower leg damage is increased. The only handgun change we have is for the Basilisk, and it is getting a minimum armor damage reduced. Light machine guns, the Raw LMG is getting the headshot damage reduced, minimum armor damage is being added to the semi-auto firing mode, semi-auto headshot damage is increased, semi-auto upper torso damage is increased, and semi-auto lower torso damage is increased. The RPK close mid damage slightly reduced. Marksman Rifles, the only one being changed is the Tempest Torrent, all damage ranges slightly reduced, close mid damage slightly reduced, and headshot damage reduced. Submachine Guns, submachine gun hip spread accuracy is increased across the board. The Boss P is getting changed. For ADS movement speed is increased, all damage ranges are increased, and minimum armor damage added to the semi-auto firing mode. The Lockman Sub is getting headshot damage decreased, the burst fire leg damage increased, the burst fire time between shots decreased, and the burst fire torso damage is increased. The MX9 is having a sprint to fire speed increased. The Vaznev 9K is having its headshot damage decreased, and the Vel 46 is having headshot damage decreased. Now we get into the attachments. For the Basilisk, you have 500 snake shot, maximum armor damage is being added to Warzone only. Explosive rounds. Bolt action weapons equipped with explosive ammunition are able to fully down armored players with one shot. Explosive ammunition has been added to the MCPR 300 progression tree. The ISO Hemlock, the 300 blackout ammo, all types of it, have their headshot damage increased. The hip spread accuracy while prone is increased. The initial recoil is increased slightly. The longer range damage decreased. Mid-range damage is being increased. Minimal armor damage added to semi-automatic firing mode. And the recoil violence is increased. Barrel, heavy barrels. ADS speed penalty slightly reduced. Light barrels, muzzle velocity penalty reduced. Short barrels, ADS speed benefit increased. Damage range penalty reduced. Hip spread accuracy benefit increased while moving and firing. Hip spread accuracy penalty for shotguns decreased while moving and firing. Well, that's nice. For the bipod, ADS speed penalty reduced. For the laser, laser brightness increased. For your magazines, large magazines. So across the board, it seems like all handling penalties are being reduced on the larger magazines. Small magazines, across the board, movement speed increased and the sprint to fire speed is increased. For the Fennec 45, the Fennec double tap mod benefits from small magazine buffs. Damage increased, damage range is reduced, minimum armor damage added, and time attuned to your burst reduced. Hopefully this actually makes the double tap mod better, because it was really bad. For the STB 556, a single tap mod, damage is increased, mid-range damage distances increased, minimum armor damage is added, and time between shots increased. For the rear grip of the Basilisk, the Camo Basilisk, maximum armor damage added, so they're nerfing this. For the stocks, heavy stocks specifically, ADS move speed penalty reduced, aiming stability benefit increased, aim walking steadiness benefit increased. Now here's the big thing. For the general changes, blueprints, pro tuning is no longer removed from all attachments when altering a pro tune blueprint. Bomb squad, explosive damage mitigation also applies to armor. This is fantastic. Damage feedback, visual feedback adjusted to increase visibility when taking damage, so you no longer have all that annoying visual crap when you're getting hit and taking damage. Death effects are not visible when killing AI. Whenever you do a dolphin dive, your diving fire delay is reduced. I think this means that you can fire sooner after you dive. And whenever you slide, sliding speed is slightly increased. This is awesome. Field upgrades, added thermal vision of the tactical camera for night map modes. So night map modes are coming. That's awesome. For equipment, gas grenades should no longer detonate aim explosives. This is awesome. This got to be killed a few times. For claymores on Warzone 2.0 only, armor damage was reduced. Flash grenades, flash effect duration reduced. Thank you, God. Frag grenades, Warzone 2.0 only. One-hit kill radius against fully armored players reduced. Proximity mines, Warzone 2.0 only. Armor damage reduced, and armor damage reduced against crouched or prone players. Semtex now kills down players when stuck. For kill streaks, players watching a kill cam after getting killed by a cruise missile will no longer be looking downwards when they respawn. Reduce the range of screen shakes for precision airstrike explosions. Juggernaut should not be able to see the tablet screen when planting or defusing a bomb. For the bomb drone, Warzone 2.0 can no longer fully down armored players, and cluster mines armor damage reduced. Vehicles. Vehicle windows cannot be destroyed by melee attacks. Vehicle tires cannot be popped with knives. Audio. Added a new cinematic music slider to the front end, which will allow players to control UI music, game outros and intros, and cinematic sequences separately from music that happens during gameplay, and various refinements to footstep and occlusion mixes. Now we're going to be getting into the multiplayer changes. So Gunfight is being added with 4 maps. New maps are coming. The core 6v6 maps are the Peleos Lighthouse and the Black Gold. Gunfight maps are going to be Alley, Black Site, Exhibit, and Shipment. And for the battle maps of Ground War and Invasion, you have Rohan Oil and Static Cave Complex. Alright, so for Season 3 for DMZ, the moment you've all been waiting for, you have a new faction arriving. You have barter system coming in. We're introducing barter for players who have another way to gear up during deployment. Barter can be found at buy stations and offers exchange for certain items for useful equipment. Remembering these recipes will be a useful tool for acquiring specific items. Barter is not player to player. There's also a workbench now. The workbench is arriving at DMZ and allows players to customize contraband weapons during deployment. This includes any equipped weapon that may be insured or loaded. Players will be able to add or remove attachments based on their weapon progression. They're also adding active duty operator slots. Individual operators will now go on active duty when used by the player. Only one active duty slot can be equipped at a time, but players will start with 3 slots. Active duty operators will have their own persistent items, exfil streaks, dog tag rarity, backpack type, kill streaks, gas mask, and self-revive. When failing to exfil, only that individual operator will have its gear, streak, dog tag, and rarity all reset. The other operators you have will not be affected. So basically this is their way of having it to where you can keep your items. You can have different loadouts. People were asking for like a stash where they can put like the gas mask, your armor, and stuff away. And this is their system for that. So you can just have different operators with, let's say you go in with the Core Tag Group 1 that's shown on the screen here. And you go in, you get items, and you get out. You can then set that character to inactive and go on to Adam on the left, go in with him as a fresh one, where he has just a 1 plate vest and the small backpack, and go and get him some gear. and then save that Cortac group guy, for example, all geared up and ready to go for whenever your buddies get on and play with you, which is going to be really nice. They're also adding bundles to the store that give you additional active operator slots. No surprise there. They're adding extra ways to make money. Private exfils. Campers got you down. Private exfils will be available at buy stations to trigger an exfil chopper to land at an exfil point that is inactive for other players during that match. It doesn't mean you will be spotted by an enemy squad, but there may be less than heat than one of the public points visible on the attack map. As mentioned above, the heavy chopper will be in DMZ and Battle Royale. Flying it out of bounds will automatically trigger exfiltration. A new supply run contract, similar to Safe Tracker, operators will need to locate and loot 3 crates. New equipment items, a rebreather, a new field grip upgrade that allows players to breathe underwater, a skeleton key that can be used to unlock any lock space in place of the specific key, 4 new plate carriers, the tempered plate carrier, 2 stronger armor plates versus 3 plates. This is the same as Battle Royale. A comms plate carrier, audio alert when an enemy player or squad is nearby, and increased duration of all UAVs and UAV towers. Medic, faster teammate revives and self-revives. Stealth will not appear on enemy radars. This basically gives you the ghost perk. And 2 new backpacks. A secure backpack, items that are kept to that active duty soldier if they are limited in extraction zone or not consumed for XP upon a successful exfil. Scavenger, maximum item slots at the cost of a 3rd weapon slot. So this takes away that 3rd weapon slot and gives you more item slots so you can hold more stuff. They increase the overall amount of loot found in the world. Toolboxes now spawn more field upgrades, gun oil, and blowtorches. Military containers, rifle cases, weapon lockers all spawn more items overall. The spawn rates of plate carriers, medical items, gun oil, and documents, and food rations have been increased. And new potential spawn location for a weapons case on Amazra. I hope you guys enjoyed looking through these patch notes with me and you're excited for Season 3. Please consider dropping a subscribe and a like, and I will see you guys all later. Have a wonderful day.